welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another BH Cosmetics palette for my birthstones series. So there is a series that BH Cosmetics has been doing, and it is birthstones. So every month on the first of the month they release a palette for the month of whatever month it's. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another birthstone tutorial, video, review, whatever you want to call it, for the birthstone collection from BH Cosmetics. If you haven't been following my series, I've been doing this every single month, and I am up to October, so I've been doing this for 10 months already. I started off with Garnet, then I went all the way into this month, which is Opal. So if you don't know, I am an Opal baby. I am an October baby. My birthday is on the 13th of October, so when you're seeing this, it's actually a day after my birthday. But I have high hopes for anything October. So I know that we have several different stones. So I know we have like this green tourmaline type of, it's like a dark sage green. We have the most popular one that you see a lot is the pink tourmaline, and then of course our other option for birthstone is opal. Now I don't like the pink tourmaline because I'm not a huge fan of pink. I despise the color pink and purple, but yet I do like them in eyeshadows. It's weird. I know, doesn't make sense. But I was hoping and wondering what they would do. Would they do pink tourmaline or would they do opal? They ended up doing opal. So opal, if you don't know, is a very soft stone and it's multicolored. So with opal, I feel like, let's see, there's different types of opals. The typical opal that usually coincides, sorry, I'm looking at images of opals. Usually the opal that coincides with October birthstone is like more of a pastel-y, like white based stone with multicolor inside, so it's mostly just white based. There are black based opals which I actually really like because they're nice and dark, and of course for me when I think of October I think of dark Halloween, very vampy goth type style. That's just me. So when I received the palette, I was, let me tell you, disappointed because I wanted something better, and I'll show you. So here is the palette. As you can see, it's got that perfect multifaceted colors in the actual packaging, and then when you open it up, yeah, there's pastels in there. So I was a little bit confused, but at the same time understanding on why there are pastel colors. So there are, of course, the 7 shades. You've got your opal shade, which is the main shade, and every birthstone comes out with the main shade, and it's supposed to be the actual stone. Then it comes with 6 pastel looking shades. I don't like pastel eyeshadows. I feel like they wash me out. I feel like they make me look very sleepy because they're very bright. A lot of people I've seen can pull off pastel shades. I just can't. So I was very disappointed in the pastel palette, but I understand because the white based opal, which is the typical birthstone for October, it has like pastel-y looking colors, but I would have preferred there to be like a kind of orangey fiery shade in there, a little bit more of a turquoise shade. I wanted some black bases to really jazz it up, or something else. I don't know quite what I was like imagining in my head how it would look. So we're going to go ahead and do some swatches so that way you can see how this looks. And then we'll get into the tutorial. It's going to be a fast-paced tutorial of how I did my makeup look. And then we'll just talk about my overall thoughts. And then, of course, at the end, you know the drill. We're going to be rating all of my palettes that I have collected over the months here today. Like in person, it looks good. But on camera, I look really, like, washed out. But anyways, of course you've got your main shade, which is the Opal palette, or the Opal color. So this one is a white-based color with that shift of pink. Then you have the shade Positive, which is a pastel matte pink, almost like a bubblegum pink, but it translates on my eyes brighter. Then next to it you have Personable, which is a frosted mint color, and that's a metallic as well. Then you have Faithful, which is a pastel orange color. I thought this would be a typical transition shade. Then you have this color, which I can understand why it's in here because it does have like a shift of orange, but this one's called Big Heart. And that's like a metallic kind of orangey pink. It's got like orange, very fine orange glitters in it. Then you have Emotional, and that's a pastel blue. Then you have, of course, the glitter shade that comes in all the palettes. This one is called Daydreamer. And of course I had some shades on there, but it's like multifaceted. It's got green, it's got blue, it's got yellow, it's got different colors of glitter in there. So there are all the shades for the pastel looking palette. So of course my initial thought was, what the heck? I hate pastels. I feel like Morticia when she saw Debbie's house, and you know, she could forgive her for all of the crazy stuff that Debbie had done to Uncle Fester, and she goes, I can forgive you for all of that, or that I can forgive, but Debbie, pastels? And then of course, this makes me think of that scene, because I'm like, really, BH Cosmetics, pastels in October? Come on. But I understand. So those are the swatches for the palette. Now we're going to get into how I created this look and whether I like it or not. And of course, my overall thoughts on the palette, followed by some ratings of my favorite to least favorite in the collection. Let's go. Let's already talk about overall thoughts. I mean, honestly, it didn't do too bad. But as you can see from my tutorial, I used a black base just because I knew how it was going to translate. So, for example, I know pastels kind of go with goth style sometimes, but for me, I just don't look good in pastels. Any kind of pastels, clothing, makeup, I just don't look good in it. I feel like it washes me out so much. And I can already tell you, judging on this look, I mean, it's really, really pretty, but it needed that black base. And it is very bright under my eyes, so it makes me look very, like, bright. And honestly, like, that black base is what saved me. I wasn't a fan of the pastels, let me tell you. They're very light. I just wish it had one deep shade in there, or even a brow bone highlight. You know me, I like my brow bone highlight, but I just didn't understand Faithful. I know it's trying to play on that color orange in there, but what I was imagining in this palette was mostly duochromes, like shifts of color, because Opal has multifaceted colors. So when you shift the stone, the colors tend to kind of shift into a different color because they have a different hue to it. So I was hoping that they would have like something like the shade Fireball from, I don't know if you guys remember this from Urban Decay singles. Fireball was definitely one of those shades that had like a kind of like an orangey, peachy like base, or pink, no, it had a pink base with an orange drastic shift, or like Asphyxia from Urban Decay. That one was a purple with a blue shift. There was so many things in this palette that were amiss. So like I wish they would have done multifaceted colors like Asphyxia or Fireball. Those you find in an opal, those types of colors, and maybe like a base that's a little bit deeper, like a turquoise, like, I don't know, I just needed something to kind of deepen everything up. This, I feel, is like, for example, the Cyber Naked palette. That is an enhancer palette. This will be an enhancer palette. Like, I feel like you can use these colors to kind of like brighten up, like for a halo eye. They're used to kind of just make the look a little bit more like multi-dimensional with deep shades, and then these be your pop of shimmer. So I feel like this one is one that's going to be mostly like a enhancer palette, if that makes sense. So not a huge fan of it as a standalone palette, but for the colors, I do wish they were multifaceted, and I do wish that this had just a little bit more of a deeper color, but I understand the color story because that's just the way Opal looks. But I would probably just use this to enhance a look. I wouldn't use this alone, which kind of makes me sad because this is my birthstone. So with that being said, October Opal was probably what I expected, but I wish there was just some gothy colors in there. That's just me. As an October baby, I really like something dark, deep, and then just have that pop of shimmer. Like, oh, I loved using the Kat Von D, back when it was Kat Von D, those, the Alchemist palette. That as a standalone doesn't work, but I loved how multifaceted it was. It had the purple with a really nice holographic shift. That's what I wanted to see in this palette. Not just plain pastels. I wanted to see some multifaceted colors. So that's my overall thoughts on the Opal palette. I just wish, I mean, I understand it, but I just wanted it to have those like multi-dimensional holographic looking eyeshadows in it, like the Alchemist palette, or you know, like at least the Cyber palette actually has some that have a shift of a different color to it. But I could definitely see shifting colors rather than just pastels. But I stand with each palette in my rating. Okay, we're gonna start with the least favorite. Oh, this is hard because There was just a lot of colors that I was just like, ooh, that could work. And I've tried some of these palettes several times, but some of them just didn't fly. So, okay, we're going to start off with my least favorite. And I would have to say this kind of has changed quite a bit. I would say this changed a lot. I would say Emerald is my least favorite still. I can't remember how I ranked the other ones, but this had a lot of misses with it because it just, this is like a sage green. It's not emerald green. I wanted an emerald green and I wanted an emerald green glitter. So this one, the olives just were a little patchy, as goes with every olive type of color, and I didn't feel like, I mean, I know a lot of people complimented me on that look, but I just didn't feel like I liked it. It was too light. There was no depth, even though this is a pretty dark shade, this is a pretty dark shade, but it didn't have any depth to it. So as a standalone palette, I just didn't feel it. So this one is my least favorite. Second least favorite. I'm disappointed to do this, but it's true. Opal. I'm sorry. Opal's down there. Like, this is my daughter's birthstone and my mom's birthstone, and this is my least favorite. I'm so sad. It needed to be richer in green. This one needed to have multifaceted hollow colors. And like maybe a dark, like maybe like a gray or a black in there just to kind of make them pop so it looks like an opal on your eyes. Okay, so I had this look that I had done, I think it was about maybe 2-3 years ago. And I did a look for opal. I did mostly like a black based opal. So when I put like a black base, I kind of wanted those colors to really shine as a multifaceted color. So I used the Alchemist palette. I think I did. I know I did. I can't remember. It's been years. But anyways, to make it look opal yet October, the black had to be there. So I was just kind of like, I just wish there was something to enhance these colors, and these colors needed to be, this one is a multifaceted color, of course. This has that pink shift, but this one doesn't. It looks like it has like an orange shift to it, but it's not as drastic as Fireball. And then of course the green is just a mint green. It just doesn't do anything for me. I mean, on top of the black, it did do really well. It kind of made like this really nice sage green. But then I had to blend it out with the pale blue, which I did not like. I hate pale blues. It's just not my favorite. The pink kind of was a little bit more Pepto-Bismol pink, and it was just not there. So yes, second least favorite has to be Opal. Third least favorite, and I hate to do this again, but this is my husband's birthstone, and again, pastels just don't translate on me. I get their glitter. Their glitter could have been an opal instead, because I did put the glitter in my inner corner. It's just more like multicolored. This one has more of that fiery green shift, orange shift. So I wish this glitter was in the Opal palette. Again, I can't do pastel blues. This one just is too bright for me. That is the main shade, and I understand Aquamarine is a pale blue. I did, though, like the brow bone highlight. I just didn't understand the warm tones. I wish that had deeper tones that weren't so warm. Maybe like a dark brown. I don't know. I just don't know how this one would have made it better. But Aquamarine is my third least favorite. Fourth least favorite. And this one has kind of moved up a little bit. Amethyst. This is my niece's birthstone. Both my nieces. I hate purple, but this is just so light, like in this color story. And why couldn't this be a purple glitter? This one is perfect because it is that nice, pretty purple, but these just, there's too many pink transition shades. There's not something deep. I wanted a dark, like purple or a grimace purple, but these are like pinky purples, and I just didn't understand it. I didn't like this one as much, but I mean, what do you do? Alright, so Ruby is my probably what, fifth least favorite. It's right in the middle there. But this one is, I loved the ruby red glitter. I just hated the fact that when I put this on, it looked orange. It did not look good. It looked orange. This is actually much more pink red than it is red. So ruby, you think of really bright reds. You don't think of anything pinky red, but this was pinky red. So this one's like right in the middle. Let's see. Peridot has to be up there because when I put the look together, it actually really did nicely because it has that deep forest green. It's like almost like a, yeah, it's like a nice sagey forest green, but that really pulled the look together. The yellow made sense because it has that kind of, it blows out the look very nicely. But of course this does kind of give me that subculture vibe where you've got marigolds and kind of like those deep cool greens, and those don't really blend well together. But I did love this shade, and I did love the fact the glitter was that Peridot color. So this one is my 5th favorite. Next would be Pearl, because this one actually does a good job, and I actually don't really know that many people that have a birthday in June, I don't believe. But yeah, this was just, June for me is just kind of like, meh, a month. Nothing really special going on there. I don't know anybody that's Pearl, but this look was very neutral. I liked the way this came out. It was very easy to use. This is more of my practical palette. It doesn't have a transition, I mean, it does have a transition shade, but it has two kind of almost the same browns. This one's just a bit warmer and a tad lighter, but I wish it had a brow bone highlight because that would have really made this like #1, because it'd be an everyday type of palette. Alright, next one would be Garnet. This one, I just didn't understand. I like the brow bone highlight. I don't understand the black glitter. I would have liked a deep red. Like a deep red, like a wine red in there. But the black glitter is really pretty. It's just I don't know where to put it sometimes. And this should have been deeper. So that's where I stand with that one. I did like that it had a matte red. But again, too much of one thing is not good. Make it more multi-use. Like practical shades, not one smidgen shade lighter than this one. That's what I didn't understand. Alright, next one is going to be Sapphire. At first I hated this palette because I was like, when I looked at the picture, I'm like, it's green. Why is it green? But I understand Sapphire has some shifts of green. I didn't understand the glitter, but that's just me. But the blues, when you tie it all together, it actually looks really pretty. I got a lot of compliments on this one. It works really well. I just wish there was a transition shade. There are two different types of greens. There's a brighter green, and then this one's more like a teal green, teal blue, whatever you want to call it. But it does have a nice periwinkle, dark periwinkle color. And then it has like a turquoise color. And then of course the Sapphire shade was really perfect. I loved the palette. It actually did a really good job. Alright, you know, this has been my favorite throughout the entire series, and it still is. It's going to be the Diamond palette. That's actually my son's birthstone. And this one worked so well because it had a deep shade. Some silvers, of course, to make that really pretty diamond color. When I think of diamond, I think of silvers. Very elegant. I like the glitter. It is very pretty because it's a silver. It has two transition shades, one a little bit darker to kind of blend out the black, and a beautiful, like this is my favorite transition or like brow bone shade because this really makes it pop. Like for this look, I don't need to brighten my brow bone because already those colors on my eyes are pretty bright, so disclose that. But these do retail for $9 each. And also they, sometimes there's codes for free shipping, or there's codes for 10% off, but you know, I just used whatever code comes to mind. But honestly, I loved these palettes, and these are really nice. This is just stuff I collect. I just love anything birthstone, anything Zodiac, and I know I have 2 of the Zodiac palettes from BH Cosmetics. I never reviewed those, I don't think. But those ones are really good too, and I wanted to create looks too with each one, like each Zodiac sign, but use the 2 palettes for them. I don't know yet. But again, Opal is just, I understand it, but I just don't like pastels. And this is my birthstone, so I was really, really disappointed. I was hoping that BH Cosmetics would have done better than this, but I understand why they did it, because when you think of Opal, you think of pastel colors, but I just felt like it was way too pastel-y for me. The look, I had to deepen it with a black, but I feel like when I use this palette, and this lip is kind of driving me nuts because it's very frosty. Let's change it. Because I was like, oh, well, you know, I'll match how my eyes look, and it just looked way too pastel-y for me. So, yeah, I'm just going to take off my lip. It was driving me nuts. I apologize. But yeah, like I said, it's proof that pastels just don't look good on me. And I'm an October baby, so I really wanted this palette to really speak to me. I wanted this to be my favorite palette, but I'm just really sad that it was not my favorite palette. It was pretty much down there. It's sad because, like, my daughters, my husband's, and mine were not what I wanted out of it. But I understand the color scheme makes sense with the birthstone. But anyways, yeah, I guess that's it. Stay tuned for the next month, which is going to be, what, Topaz? And then one more, which is going to be December's Turquoise. So those two are left. I have 10 total. I can't believe I've been collecting these every single month. What's wrong with me? But honestly, like, I wanted to collect these because I really do enjoy themes like that. Birthstones, zodiacs, anything that just has like that theme. Just because I'm just so into those things. I do hope that, like, because I feel like a lot of eyeshadow palettes are being lackluster these days, but I feel like slowly but surely there are some palettes that are coming out that are way better. I know that I had picked up the Primrose palette from Anastasia, which I was excited to use, but I was like, nope, I gotta do my Opal one because it came in yesterday and I really wanted to get it done. They actually shipped it to me pretty quickly, but, you know, not quick enough. But I wanted this palette to be done so that I can have that done before it gets too late in October, because I do have some, you know, videos lined up already. So I just wanted to kind of squeeze that in there. There might be 3 videos a week in the month of October, just because I had so much content to pump out that I was just like, you know what, I'll just go ahead and do 3. So yes, again, stay tuned for my Freaky Fridays. Every Friday in the month of October there will be a Halloween look. It's just going to be a speed through of how I created the look. There's no details in it, but if you want details, I can break down some details in some future videos perhaps. But I am working on a Zodiac series for my makeup looks, so just stay tuned for those. I'm not sure when I'm going to be starting those because I'm still kind of drafting in my head how I want the looks to look like, and I'm still waiting for wigs so that I can create the looks as best as possible. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it, and please like and subscribe. That would be great, and then I'll see you in my next one. Bye.